an episode, there, or anything that somebody's going to freak out about. So I think that was actually a pretty adult choice that you made.
Thanks.
Even though you missed out on the party or whatever.
And it's a good thing I didn't go, because it's been rough today.
It's been a rough day today.
But we knew it would be, so at least we prepared, and I had things planned that I could do, to distract myself. So one of the biggest things, so huge warning, trigger warning for suicide, real quick. One of the things I hear the most from the voices is that I need to kill myself, that everyone else will be better off without me, blah, blah, blah. Those are things that you hear with depression too, and stuff like that, and, suicidal ideation and other mental health issues. A lot of people hear voices telling them, but like, this is different. This is like I'm actually hearing people talking to me and convincing me, or trying to convince me that it's the right thing to do. And every single time, I literally will stop whatever I'm doing and I'll say, fuck you, because taking my life is no longer an option. So fuck off, is what I say every time. Because it's just not. So even subconsciously, when I'm dissociated and when I'm hearing these voices, I've said it in my brain since what happened in February. It's just not possible. It's just not an option for me anymore. And so I'm proud of that. Like, I am really, really proud that I can
identify that and fight back.
Yeah, and just fight back immediately and just shut it down, tell it to shut up, and go on with my day. So that's good, like, I know I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. It just sucks to have to hear it constantly.
We have been able to identify at least 3 male voices, and then she will hear a crying baby somewhere.
So I'll spend lots of nights in the middle of the night just going around the house looking for these crying babies. That's something that happened the first time, remember? And it was really bad. It's not as bad as it was the first time, but it does happen. And that's really frustrating, because as a woman, I naturally feel motherly instincts that if I hear a baby cry, like, that's all I can hear. And so I need to find it and help it. And why isn't anybody helping it? And where's its mother? And am I its mother? And did I have a baby and I forgot about it? Like, it's maddening and it's really, really scary. But I usually I'll go throughout the entire house, including your basement and everything. And I realize that I don't find the baby, and I can allow my logical side to tell me, like, stay strong. I know you're hearing this, but it's not real. There's not a baby here. There's no men here talking to you. There's, you know what I mean? Like, I just have to practice it. It's hard. It's not easy, but it just takes practice.
For the record, so far, I actually think you're doing pretty good. I mean, it's been a big bag of hot crap, but at least we're trying to identify it and work on it. Last time you just hid in the room and kind of blamed it more on depression and all that stuff. You didn't even really talk about it. Talking to your therapist, you've been talking to the psychiatrist about all these things, right?
Yep. Psychiatrists, psychologists, and they're helping me so much. And I'm okay with that. Like, last time it was really embarrassing, and it's still really embarrassing. But I also know, because of last time, I know that these voices thrive on, hiding it and secrecy and loneliness. They thrive on that. So
same thing as your eating disorder.
Yeah. So the more I can out it, the better the outcome, because last time it was 3 times worse than this, right? I mean, it was way worse last time.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get ahead of it. Yeah. Sounds like the birds have something to say. Okay.
I can't believe they shut up right when
they always do, every
Did they really?
time. Every single time.
And the birds have something to say now. You brats.
They'll stop. When we start talking, they'll start talking.
Okay,
and then
on 3,
if we stop talking, 1,
3.
2, 3. I'm sorry that you have to go through this too. I can't imagine having to watch my loved one. Like, if you were going through this, I don't know what I would do. I would be calling my mom every day, all day.
It's tough.
I don't know how you do it.
It's just, I have a lot of faith.
He's incredible, isn't he?
And good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Thank you, trainer, for getting my shirt. Ask me about my podcast. Before we get to my story, I wanted to mention a few things. Now this week I figured out my life can sometimes feel like a simulation. Months go by where I can't remember, or I don't feel good and I can't recall memories or things that happened in the last month or last couple months, except for big details I remember. For example, from 2016 to 2019, every other month is probably out of my mind. In 2022, summer, or 7 months, I can't remember before that. My only answer is sometimes I can prevent it with getting too busy in too many jobs or jumping around from jobs or trying to get all those applications filled out or whatever can make me more sick. Also, this has a video on Abilify. I'm not saying that's not good for medicine. It's not good for me. It put my hands in curled up. It is an antipsychotic. I wasn't diagnosed with bipolar, or I never had the diagnosis of schizoaffective at that time. We finished Cottonwood, and I got off the Effexor, is where we left off. The better brother of is the Prestige. For my condition, usually Effexor doesn't work as well as Prestige. But we had to try something because of my canker sores. At the time we figured out my meds weren't working, we tried to start Caplyta. For this point, I had been on it for a few weeks and finally started working in the hospital. July and August, I was still recovering, but feeling a lot better, and it came pretty quick, a lot quicker than it did in the past of feeling better. September was football starting up, so I was pretty happy. Some nights I would have not feel good, but for the main part, I was getting better. November, we went to Mexico. I had a great time and a fun time with my friends. December, we went to Florida and had a great time. We had moments where some tough times quickly would happen, but I would jump out of it quickly. December 12th through the 18th, I had COVID, I think. January, the Chiefs made the playoffs and were the number one seed. Fairly or not, we'll stop right there. The Royals play the White Sox today. Here's Major League, the movie, commenting on a winning streak. The Royals have won 2 games in a row. Here's Major League.
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. And if we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. So let's see some hustle. Let's jack it up a little. I got a feeling things are about to turn around for us.
Royals are on a rain delay. Mike Clevenger is on the mound for the White Sox, and Brady Singer is on the mound for the Royals. Brady Singer has struggled mightily. Cubs in St. Louis are off. The Cubs avoid the sweep yesterday and go back a game under 500. In the NBA, the Celtics and Sixers and Philadelphia leads the series 3-2. The Sixers have a chance to take the series at home, which would be an important, critical part of the series, as you don't want to give me the home stats for Game 7s. It definitely favors the home team. Boston is favored by 2, though. Game time is at 6:30. The Denver Nuggets will play the Suns. The Nuggets grabbed the last game. The Suns will have a chance to tie the series, but they'd have to go back home to Denver. The Suns are favored by 2.5, and tip-off is at 9. Key players to watch out for: Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and for the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. And key players to watch out for fixers, obviously Joel Embiid, and for the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report.